Hi, I'm Katie and welcome to another bookish adventure. So welcome to the final reading vlog of October. It is currently Monday today and I need to be very quick because I've got some bits I need to do before I head off and have a Halloween movie party thing. I don't know. Either way, I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm going to Alice's. We're going to watch films like Hocus Pocus and Labyrinth and Corpse Bride. I will probably only be able to get a few done because some of us work ridiculous hours and have to get up at stupid times in the morning. So, The Shining is done and dusted. It is history, it is been, it is gone. We are rereading. I think I just lost my bookmark, but we're not going to panic. We're going to go through this, but I definitely think I saw something ping and heard something click together, but we're going to roll. We're rereading my final book for October, and it is A Slice of Cherry, and I'm freaking out right now. Oh God, I can see it. It is behind me. Okay, so I'm just gonna try and find my page and do this and not freak out. But we're gonna freak out. I don't even know where to look. Okay, let's just put them down. Oh God. So this is the second book by Dia Reeves, which is based in the same town. This is two sisters who are daughters of the Bonesaw Killer, very legendary in their town and is also known outside of the town. I forgot how crazy it was. I'm about I'm less than 40% in, which I'm quite happy about. I don't know why I didn't think I'd get that far, but the text is actually quite big on the page, so although it seems like a big book, actually, get through it quick. I forgot how weird it was. I really did. And also, I remember general things. Not lots, but I remember stuff. I feel like I remember more than I did with Bleeding Violet. But in my head, they've happened back to front. I thought, yeah, their mum signs them up for to go to like summer school. And I thought that happened, like she tells them quite soon at the beginning, but I don't know why I thought that they started doing that first and the stuff with some guys comes after that. So that is different in my head. And there's a big social gathering that happens. I thought that happened further down the end. I thought that happened near the back, but that's already happened. Yeah, things are quite topsy-turvy in my head, really. I really forgot how much this book, I don't want to say it's like a coming of age story because I don't know if you can have one of those if you're a murderer, but it definitely is about sort of finding yourself, your identity. You know, they are the Bonesaw Killer's daughters, you know, that is very much who they are. They themselves are, you know, let's murder things. And I remember when I read this the first time round, I felt really sorry for one of the sisters, Fancy, because her older sister clearly is now at that age where she does want to become a bit more independent. She likes guys, she likes this. However, she's forced Fancy to live this sheltered life of no one understands us, no one likes us, you know, we only have each other, no one will ever get the way we are and the fact that we want to murder and all this stuff. So it's really sad. So Fancy grows up like thinking that. So when Kit wants to be a bit more independent and maybe shows reluctance, it's really quite sad. I remember when I read this the first time round, I just felt really awful for her. This time round, I still have that feeling. I still do feel sad for her because she clearly has been raised in that way and she's been very heavily reliant on Kit. You know, they have no friends, whereas it's clear that Kit can be quite interested in people and would probably be willing to give them a chance. And it's weird because Kit is very much the one who's like, let's maim, let's stab, let's murder, and it's Fancy who's like trying to reel her back and like, you know, we might get caught, and trying not to give in. But once they have been given an opportunity where they could do it, no consequences, Fancy is now suddenly really like, yeah, let's like really go for it. And it's Kit who's suddenly being reluctant. Kit is suddenly, I guess, wanting a life separate from Fancy and, you know, having maybe other friends and being willing to be social. And it is just really sad because I don't think she sees what she's done to her sister. I don't think she sees that she has made Fancy live such a sheltered life where her only friend is her sister. She doesn't want anyone else. I mean, they have their mother, but their mother doesn't know that they like to kill. And yeah, the book begins with an intruder in the house and they basically capture him and they keep him locked up in the cellar where their dad used to murder people, and Kit likes to cut into him and Fancy convinces him not to kill him, and so they stitch him up and stuff, but then he becomes a burden because Kit almost wants to keep spending time with this kid and she's almost talking to him like a friend, and Fancy just gets very jealous. It's very clear that she doesn't like it because she's like, why do you want to spend all your time with him? Why do you want to do this? Blah 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 blah. It's very sad. And I'm now remembering, I always like, I knew that was one of the things I did remember, was that this story was more than just them and their murderous urges. I always remembered that it was a story of sort of like discovering their own separate identities and the sort of the real differences between them and them sort of pulling away from each other but not. And yeah, that's something that's always stayed with me, was just how sad it all is. So yeah, it is, I do feel for her, but she is in some ways quite annoying because she gets very stroppy and very angry, but at the same time I feel like Kit is really oblivious to the hurt she's caused and will be causing. So it is quite nice. I remember, yeah, first time around when I read this, I remember thinking, oh wow, this is so not what I expected. I didn't expect this real emotional and human element of it, because you know, they are daughters of a serial killer and they themselves like to slice and dice. Anyway, I gotta head off. I gotta go get me some food because we're having takeaway and munchies, and I want me some of that. Look how much I have left to read. So yesterday I had a little bit of time. I think I've had about an hour and a bit or so, like in between mum getting home and then like sort of us having food. And yeah, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna read me some of this. And I don't know how, but I just smashed through it and I'm so happy. So going off where I am at the minute, I would say I'm about 70-80% maybe, I think, which is wonderful. Oh my goodness, I think I'm hitting about 80%. I think by the end of Monday, I think by Monday I said I was only on like 40 or something. I'm terribly sorry. Yeah, so I don't know how or what happened, but yeah, I am just like powering. Oh my god, my door just opened. They are sort of now, they are definitely now at a point, they are growing apart. Like that is so happening now. Like Kit is definitely wanting her freedom, and it's weird because obviously I feel sorry for Fancy. I definitely do, because everything she knew and loved is suddenly just not there anymore, and for her it really feels like Kit is pulling away from her, is abandoning her. And I kind of wish that the book was also told from Kit's point of view, and I think I wish this the first time around I read it, so I was really surprised it wasn't based off both of them, because it would be nice to sort of see how Kit sees it and the changes that she's going through, and to sort of explain those changes that she's going through regarding sort of killing people and in general just becoming older and, you know, wanting a life, because it does just suddenly seem like a very sudden and abrupt thing. It kind of just seemed like, you know, she's met a boy she likes and now that's kind of it. Well, I'm sure it was happening before. However, everything that is coming Kit's way, Fancy's bratish attitude, her behaviour, her murderous tendencies towards Kit's boyfriend, that is all her own fault. She has kind of created Fancy, and she really now has to deal with those consequences. You know, she is older, they have grown up being very much hated by proxy because of what their dad did. Automatically, you know, they're public enemy number one, and Kit is always like, who cares what people think, we don't need them, we have each other, we know what we're really like, you know, we could kill them, blah blah blah. She always came across as the one who lacked sort of any sort of impulse control, and Fancy was always having to rein her in. Fancy has kind of grown up that, and she's very babyish, and there is another guy who keeps pointing this out to her. He's like, well then stop acting like a baby if you don't want me to treat you like one, you know, stop wearing all this kiddie clothes, like all of this stuff. And I don't know whether it's because maybe Kit has sort of babied her, like, you're my little sister, or what, I don't know. Yeah, everything that is kind of coming her way, all of Fancy's anger, as everything, Kit has no one to blame but herself. I know, I guess their mum probably has tried to encourage them to see separate people, but when you are hated full stop, of course they're going to cling to each other. But yeah, I have zero sympathy for Kit. This is so all her own fault. She has basically just been everything to Fancy and then gone, oh look, a boy. Like, she has really just dropped her. They've never talked about feelings for other people other than general contentment and the fact that they have to tolerate people. As much as Kit has created this situation, Fancy has allowed her to be the voice piece. She has allowed that to happen, and she's allowed herself to be the baby sister and just to sort of shy away. So that is kind of her own fault. So it's interesting. It is very much a kind of a weird coming of age story, because she is finding herself separate from her sister, and the thing is, neither of them do confrontation. Fancy will be all stroppy and moody, and she'll be like, you abandoned me, you're doing this, and Kit's solution is to be like, oh come on now, and you know I love you really, blah blah blah, it's me and you guys. Like, they never actually solve anything. They never talk about their problems. They never actually sit down and have her say, look, I feel this, because Fancy does fly off the handle. She goes straight for the, well, you abandoned me, you left me alone once again, and Kit's solution is to just give in. So anytime there is a point, and there are multiple times in this book when they could actually sit down and talk it out, yeah, Kit just doesn't. Kit just goes the easy way out. And every time Fancy sees her in these situations with this boy Gabriel, who she does not like, it just makes things worse and worse, because she just then feels like Kit is lying to her, she's pulling away from her, and it is like a constant like stab to her because Fancy has no one. It's weird. I feel sorry for Fancy, but at the same time I have no like, I don't like her, but I just feel bad for her because of the situation she's in and that her sisters put her in. I am at a point where I now don't really remember much like at all. Stuff that I thought I knew I don't think was quite right, and I had the timeline completely wrong, and which is nice because I had that Bleeding Violet, I didn't remember a lot, so it was like rereading the book for the first time. Characters from Bleeding Violet, Hannah and Wyatt, they do pop up in this book, and I remember that. I knew that was coming, so that was nice. I love it when things like that cross over because this isn't like a direct, you know, sequel books, but they are set within the same world, so that was nice. That is it for this week's reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for smashing that like button and showing me your thumbs. As always, comment below, let me know what are the books that you read for Halloween. Do you do the whole themey thing? This is about as themed as I get. This is vaguely horror and kind of, yes, I go more supernatural, I guess. If you're new, hi, hello, welcome. Hit that subscribe button and never miss a video. Loads to come and so much to catch up on. I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope you have a very nice Halloween, and I will see you again on Monday. This time it will definitely be a wrap up. I changed my mind at the last minute. Bye.